Hey everybody. So I just want to catch people up on what I'm working on. Um, I have been so there was an announcement or some articles on Wowhead as well that the auction house in 9.2.7, I'm sure most of y'all have already heard this, is that the commodities or anything that's stackable is going to now be region wide. So there's probably some changes that you're going to want to do under your crafting. So I use for my default material cost method, I use this DMCM default, which happens to be a custom source, which I can open up here. Uh, Default material cost method. So what I'm doing is it's kind of like your standard one that most everybody's using, except instead of like DB market here, I'm doing a minimum of DB market, DB region market average, and then 1.2 times DB region sale average. But um, you can kind of play with this however you want to, but once that change goes in, you're going to probably, for at least the materials, you're going to want to be using this DB region market average. Now, TSM probably, since a DB market no longer exists per se, uh, probably what they'll do is just copy, DB market will basically be equal to DB region market average. So you might be okay without bothering to change your formulas and stuff. Or your operations. So that would be one thing to think about. Let's see. So what am I gonna do about it? I don't know. I'm just trying to sell stuff and probably adjust my prices so that they're closer to what kind of look whenever you're buying. Excuse me. Whenever you're buying, try to look to make sure you're not way out of uh, away from the region uh, market value average. Ideally you want to be close to the region sale average. So I imagine if you're on a small realm, you're probably going to see your prices drop significantly, um, which should be a good thing if you're a regular player. And then if you're on a high pop realm, then perhaps you'll see some of your prices go up just a little bit. So I think all in all, it's probably a good thing. We'll just have to see how it plays out. The other thing I've kind of been working on is I've been working on a speed set. So I've got this speed set. I just called it I am speed. So if you've watched what was that movie, Cars or something like that. Anyway, you can craft this gear typically. So if you craft the 233 gear, um, let me just as an example. So you come down here, you click this. You can add a pure air sail extensions. So that will actually add speed to the item, but I don't want to craft the low level ones. So you have to. That's the only issue I have here. Is like you have to, once you select one of these, it kind of kicks you out. So ideally, you can craft these with 233, and I've started selling these too. So instead of everything I make, um, the 233 gear has these pure air sail extensions. So the only problem is that TSM doesn't really understand that you've added something like this to the uh, to the piece of equipment. So you probably will need to uh, take that into account when you're crafting, which I'll show you in a little bit. So there's a web page that is pretty good. I'll post it on Wowhead, you can actually just search this if you want to, but how to create a Shadowlands speed gear set. And you can kind of read through it to understand some of the stuff going on, but if you kind of come down to the comments section, there's a recent comment here. Basically, this is like if you're farming like old instances, then this probably works out pretty good. Ideally, you have some Azurite gear with Long Strider on it, and then that basically takes um, your highest secondary rating and increases your movement speed appropriately. So that might be where you want to stack. Maybe you want to stack a lot of mastery. I think it goes off the percentage of mastery there. So um, that would probably be the ideal situation. So um, I haven't. I don't have a whole lot of Azurite gear. I think I got rid of a lot of mine, but I've got a few pieces here and there that I'm going to try out. I'm basically just making speed gear for everything here. All the uh, head, neck, uh, shoulder, all these, as well as the rings. Uh, I guess you can get something as an alchemist. You can make something and add speed to it. Um, Anything that you also, the other thing is as you're kind of going about your business and you're getting stuff from um, bosses or world quests, anything with speed on it, kind of maybe save that off in your bags or your bank, uh, with the idea that if you ever um, farm on that character, um, you'd be able to take advantage of that. Some other things that you want to do: straddling Viridium. These are probably pretty cheap on the auction house. The straddling Sage Agate is pretty expensive. I've actually sold a few of those. Well, let's look it up here. Straddling. And there's also this straddling jewel doublet, but if you have plenty of sockets available, then this might be something you look at. But yeah, I've sold 40 of these so far, an average of 1,500 each. And the Sage Agate, I think I said agate, but Sage Agate. um, I still have like 37 of these. I bought them really cheap, 40 gold each. I think at the start of Shadowlands, people were just kind of throwing them up for pretty cheap, and I was kind of surprised that they weren't going for more. But anyway, I also have this add-on called. Let me get unmounted here. So let me put on my regular gear. So I'm at 115% movement speed, and when I put on my gear that I have, the speed gear, I jump up to 154%. So if you're running through a dungeon that you can't mount in, then that's where this comes in pretty handy. And like I said, I've got 233 on everything. Speed, I don't have it on the weapons, of course, or the trinkets. And then I think you will probably want to look at this website. I think for the feet, you want to use like a BOE, ideally with some speed on it, which is at less than or equal to level 50, and you're going to put enchant boots minor speed on it. The other thing is on the back. I haven't put fortified speed on mine. I'll probably do that here. And I think what they're doing on this is they're recommending like versatility for everything. So I don't know if that's ideal or not. I'll keep playing around with this. So the idea too is, since I'm making these speed sets for my several of my characters, why not go ahead and sell those on the auction house? And I was saying earlier that TSM doesn't quite handle the pure air stuff correctly. So I'm kind of playing around with how this um, how I put these in the groups. So I'm using specific item. So it and then I auction them off uh, based on their stats and the fact that they have speed on them. And then under crafting, I've been putting just like the what you would see in your crafting window. Now the problem is when you restock, it doesn't know how to exactly restock. So it's going to restock just the plain Jane one. So like if I just modified the level here. So what it's going to do is it's going to, where am I at? Yeah, so on the greaves here, that's weird. It's shade-bound leggings and shade-bound greaves. So it's going to restock them this way. So what you want to do is kind of come over here and basically I usually just right-click and then just come here and set the values that it's supposed to be at. Just hover over it, make sure it's got the right what it's going to craft, and then craft it. It says I have 3 of those. Restock should be 5, but maybe there's but I think I require it to be like 1,000 gold in order to craft it. So under crafting here, I've got this value here. So I right now I'm playing around with okay, so that's 500. Okay, so what I do is I add this mat price to the crafting cost. That okay, I need to be 100% crafting plus this value here, which is the pure pure air sail extensions. Yeah, so my crafting cost is 258 gold. I think the big part of that is the silicon protofiber. So that's, I don't know, that kind of fluctuates. And once we get to that 927, that price should stabilize a lot better. Likewise on auctions. So under the auctions, I've got a very specific operation for that. And for the minimum price, what I have my craft min, which is basically crafting times like 1.1 or something like that. But then I add the max, the map price for the pure air sail extensions. And then I have my general stuff that, hey, it's got to be above vendor sell, and so I add that into the other ones and just kind of add in some numbers here. Right now, I think I could probably be charging more. Also, when below minimum price, I'm going to post at normal. I haven't run into that at all yet, but occasionally there's people that come by and they decide they're going to make 50 of these and post them all at the same time, and they're frustrated because none of them sell, and then they just dump the price to nothing. Anyway, I probably have talked too long on this, so but I think you're going to get the gist of it. Just remember when you're crafting these, if you restock, it'll restock with just a Crafter's Mark IV correctly, but you're going to need to do the whole clicking on it and then add the stuff to it. And one thing I found is it's like if you right click on another one, so if you craft one, if you add the stuff to it and craft it, and then click to another one, it keeps the stuff in there. So um, a little bit of a shortcut, but when you're first trying this out, just make sure everything looks correct, that it's adding the stuff in. So like right now, it's not what's showing over here doesn't match what it's going to be crafting over here. So here we can even just craft one. And so 233 with speed, and then that's pretty much it. As I get more news, or if I have some other stuff that from a technical point of view from TSM that I can maybe help out with, then I'll try to make a video of that. And on the Wowhead article, I'll post that in a link in the description, so you can just click on that if you want to. And honestly, you could probably just click on that and get the most of what I've talked about already. So anyway, I hope you all have a good one. Take care.